Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. We actually have a pretty good crowd. This is my first time at Partners, and I expected speaking on a Sunday I would get 2 or 3 people, so thank you for joining me here. And just to note, this is my very first speaking engagement outside of my company, so if I throw up halfway through, I'll be fine. Just ignore me, carry on. I'll get past it. So thank you for the introduction. Again, my name is Lisa Akahoshi. I am an Associate Director of CRM Reporting and Analytics for Verizon Wireless. And I'm here to talk about a reporting tool, a product that has really changed my life. So how many of you here have experience with Tableau? Oh, okay, good. So for anybody who does have experience, does anybody want to share how long you've been using it and what your experience is? I'm going to call on you. Second row in the blue. Oh, thank you. You avoided it. Good job.
Hi, I'm Rose with McDonald's, the DBA there. I'm basically a new Tableau user, and I knew to do a quick report, and I was just really amazed at how easy and intuitive it was. So as a new user, boom, I was able to get a report right out.
Great. Thank you. Oh, gentleman in the...
I'm sorry. Not trying to ignore. Thank you.
We're with Verizon Wireline, and we have used it for about a year. And we do a lot of it for the geospatial mapping stuff. That's been really helpful for us.
Good. Okay. So for those of you that don't have any experience with Tableau, just wanted to get a feel of what kind of data challenges you have that caused you to want to join me here today. So for somebody that doesn't have experience with Tableau, can you share a little bit of maybe some challenges that you're experiencing with data that you may be looking to Tableau as a solution?
Hi, my name is Rick Wolf. I'm from Abbott Laboratories, and I'm an IT manager who's responsible for servicing a lot of our business clients, the marketing and sales analysts, and we have quite an extensive, complex data warehouse that while my staff can write queries to pull the data for our business clients, we're trying to get our business clients to become more self-sufficient and using tools in order to pull their own data, and that's basically our biggest challenge right now.
Beautiful. Okay, so I've been in everybody's position, so hence why I'm going to go through Tableau. So to understand the real impact that Tableau has had on my team and my organization, I need to give you a little bit of history and background of my team and of me. So let's just go ahead and step through. So I've had experience, the majority of my experience with Verizon Wireless has been in finance reporting. So starting out in finance is really where I learned anything about the data warehouse, how to query the data warehouse, how to write reports. The majority of my finance experience was really just delivering reports. So not so much on the analysis side. I know it says analysis, but a lot of it was really just delivering reports and handing them off to other organizations that would do the analysis. So the department I'm in now, CRM, my team is in charge of reporting and analytics, evaluating our marketing campaigns. So understanding, are we getting a return on investment? How are our campaigns doing, and how can we improve on what we're currently doing today? Also in charge of doing base analytics, so looking at our main KPIs, so gross gains, upgrades, churn, to understand where do we go here, what's our strategy going to be, and how can we have our data drive that strategy. So more on the analytics side now, we're tasked with being able to provide a lot of those insights and answers, but a lot of the complexities, which I'll kind of go into, impeded a lot of that, and Tableau was really the answer for us. So just a little fun fact about myself, just so now you know a little bit of my background. I am a huge hockey fan. Do I have any hockey fans in here? 2. Okay, 3. Great. I'm used to that because I live in Southern California, and most people don't realize we have 2 hockey teams in Southern California. So just want to put it out there that we have 2, and I'm a fan of the one that just won the Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, we're not playing right now, so I'm a little angry, but I won't go into that because I could spend the next hour talking about how mad I am about that. So just to jump in, so I'm going to take you back a couple years to March 2010 to really give some background on my team and what caused the need for us to find a solution like Tableau. So March 2010, there was a consolidation of our area CRM teams. Prior to March 2010, all of the CRM activities were handled by the areas. So we had the West area, Northeast area, South, and Midwest. So each area owned their execution, their strategy. So as you can expect, that came with 4 different types of strategies, 4 different types of execution. So depending on where you were as a customer, where you lived in the country, you could be getting very different messaging. So there was the need to consolidate and standardize how we executed our marketing campaigns, how we developed strategy, knowing that there are going to be nuances across the different areas based on their consumer base. But we wanted to have one general messaging direction, one standardized strategy. So because of that, it's not an easy task. We had 4 different CRM systems. We had 4 different tools. We had a lot of people building campaigns their own way. So needing to really house all of that expertise, get everybody standardized, everybody along the same lines of how we're going to execute campaigns, how we're going to build campaigns, was quite a feat. So a lot of the consolidation up front was very execution heavy. So impacts to my team on the reporting side, we had very little IT support. So again, going back to what we had to deal with and trying to get all of our campaigns migrated to one system, there was just a lot of IT bandwidth that was really focused on trying to work on the transition. So we didn't have time to pause everything we're doing for a month or 2 months and say, okay, we're going to dedicate this time to transitioning everything over, working out the bugs and trying to figure things out. And then we'll start everything up. We still have to run our campaigns. Things still have to go out as like nothing's changed. So with that, I had very little IT support on the back end for reporting because everything just needed to be executed. On the reporting side, a lot of what we were tasked to do is really evaluate all these campaigns. But without our campaigns being successfully migrated to a national version, there was no way for me to really report out on anything. So kind of piggybacking on the limited IT support, we had really restricted database space. So again, any space that was allocated to this transition was really focused on ensuring our campaigns were getting out in a timely manner. So I really had little sandbox space to really provide any meaningful data. And then I did have the smallest team. So again, focus was not really on reporting. We wanted to have a reporting team to at least start to build what we were going to be looking at. But I had 2 people on my team. So if you think about it, at the time we had a consumer base of about 80 million people. We were running anywhere from about 100 to 150 campaigns monthly. So 2 people, kind of impossible to be able to evaluate anything or to be able to support anything at that level. So kind of moving forward to April to August 2010, so kind of the next wave on what my team could be capable of doing over the next couple of months in terms of reporting. We were trying to figure out, okay, how do we evaluate campaigns? So just trying to look at the data, trying to understand, okay, how is our campaign information getting into the data warehouse? What indicators should we be looking at? How do we even evaluate a campaign? So we started developing some campaign effectiveness reporting, but this was always on an ad hoc basis. So we would have a campaign, we would evaluate it, look at the difference between our treat and control groups, looking at incremental impact. But again, keeping in mind we've got about 150 monthly campaigns going. So unfortunately that meant we could only really put our focus on the large scale campaigns. So campaigns where we're blasting to 10 million people, 15 million people, those are the ones that we really wanted to focus our efforts on. But that really didn't stop the flow of requests. So areas still wanted to understand, okay, I'm executing these campaigns, how are they doing? What's the point in even doing a campaign if you can't evaluate how it's doing? But again, with 2 people, really had little bandwidth to be able to do anything. So we're starting to develop just really how we're going to be looking at reports. bit of an eye chart. As you can see, they're both Excel, and really nothing completely meaningful without really being able to look at it and explain it. So again, we have key performance metric reporting that we wanted to use to really drive strategy. So what are those changes month over month, year over year? Are we seeing any odd trends that would cause us to need to put something in the marketplace or to execute certain campaigns to mitigate any negative effects? So we were developing a lot of the key metric reporting, but unfortunately a lot of it was manual. So we had these growing numbers of requests of, okay, I need to see churn by, every which way, then I need to see port outs, or all of these different requests. And so we were tasked with maintaining all of these reports on a regular basis, so weekly, daily, and this is massive amounts of information too. So it's not anything that would just take a minute to run. You kick it off a minute later, post it, and you're done. So these are large-scale reports where we're looking at our entire base of 80 million people and trying to interpret what's going on. And then lastly, any ad hoc requests. So with the consolidation, the expectation from the areas was that we would support a lot of their reporting requests. So no incremental headcount was given during this transition. So the areas didn't get any help with the transition. We didn't get any extra help. So I think everybody looked at it as, okay, well, you guys are owning everything. You need to be taking on all of the ad hoc requests. Again, I have 2 people. I can't solve world hunger with 2 people. So it started to just become really unmanageable and out of control. So our first thought for a solution was, okay, we need to build our own automation system. But remember, we didn't really have a lot of IT support because they were focused on still making sure that they're working out all the bugs with the transition of all of the areas to one system. And then also throw in there, we had an upgrade to our database marketing tools at that time too. So there was still a lot of focus from IT on just the execution of our campaigns. So we had to find something that would help at least band-aid the problems that we were having. So as the number of recurring report requests grew, so having now 20 reports that we would have to manually run daily, we needed to get some sort of automation system. Again, because we had very little IT support. We didn't have a fancy server. We didn't have anything that we could really look to IT for to support us. So we had a fancy extra PC that sits on one of my employees' desks that runs automation. So had a bunch of scheduled tasks, worked with Visual Basic and Excel to get something out. So at least we could alleviate the time we were spending on running manual reports and have it actually automated. But with that, we had a bunch of challenges. We really had very limited experience with anything automation. Thank goodness that somebody on my team had a little bit of experience automating reports, but we didn't have the infrastructure to do anything big. So it was really a learn as you go type of experience for us. So it took a lot of time for that because we weren't experts. We didn't really know what we were doing. We were doing the best we could with what we had. So there were mandatory system reboots. So again, since we weren't on any sort of large-scale server, we were dealing with a lot of the security patches that come out from IT. And when our system reboots, then that crashes any of our automation. So none of our reports will go out. So this would happen on a daily basis where a report didn't get out to one of our executives. Great, 2 in the morning, get in there, rerun it manually, because our system would always shut down. So we were having just a bunch of issues with that. And then as the requests kept coming, our data sizes just kept growing. So the number of reports we were having, the number of ways that our users wanted to see the data, so the more slices you add to it, the bigger the data sets go. Because of that, Excel kept crashing. So it got too big for Excel to handle. Nothing would run. We would try to post things out to users, and they couldn't even download it. So it was becoming unusable at that point. So, creation of campaign effectiveness reporting. This was another way that now that we have automation, we wanted to put something in place where we could allow our users to really self-serve on their own. So, again, going back to the fact that we had 150 or so campaigns running monthly, we wanted to be able to at least give our business users the ability to say, okay, here's all your campaigns. Here are a slew of 50 different metrics. metrics, go out, pull that yourself. Ask us any questions you have, but go ahead and do it on your own. So that was a problem we were trying to solve. Again, we couldn't possibly keep up with all of the campaigns that were going on, and it was really difficult to be able to have to tell the users, hey, I'm sorry, we don't have time to look at that. So again, why are we even putting out these campaigns if we can't evaluate how they're doing? So one of the big challenges with this report, so essentially, and let me go ahead and just show you an example of it. Not that you can see it because it's super tiny, but we essentially had one big Excel report that had all of our campaigns included in there. So any campaign that we run, you'll see it in this report. So those are going down the left. And then you have a slew of 50 metrics going across. And then a couple of ways that you want to slice it are in the page filters. So with that, this process, because there's so many records and it was so large, it took 28 hours. We did this only on a monthly basis because it took so long, but that 28 hours was really comprised of the